don't manage your own project. Your time is too valuable. What's the time value of money? In my opinion, there's always an opportunity cost to your time. If you're managing this over here, then you're not out there finding houses over here. So to me, your time is way better spent out here in your business, generating new business, than working on a project over here that you could have easily outsourced to somebody else.
Hey, what's going on? Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor here, and I'm really excited for today's training video because it's from one of my favorite real estate investors, Ken Corsini. Now, you might have seen Ken and his wife Anita on HGTV's Flip or Flop Atlanta. Well, last year he came to Clever Summit and he just rocked the house talking about his renovation business. His family has flipped over 700 houses. They're some of the most well-respected and just savviest real estate investors around. They renovate like bosses. They came and they taught us how to grow your renovation team, how to source materials, how to structure the entire renovation so it's like seamless and flows smoothly so you can make the highest profit possible. All right, so today's video is all about house flipping. So if you're into that kind of thing, this one's gonna be for you. Now, don't forget to click the link down below. It's in the pinned comment section to grab your tickets to this year's Clever Summit. What is Summit? It's my flagship annual event happening August 16th, 17th, and 18th. I only hold it once per year. And this year, I'm bringing some badass speakers, trainers, and mentors to help you level up your real estate investing business, and just crush your competition. People like Andy Frisella, Joseph McClendon III, Billie Jean is marketing, Kayla Maddox, Dan Fleischman, Ken and Anita Corsini will be back. I'll be there. Hopefully you'll be there. So click the link down in the comment section and grab your discounted tickets right now. All right, without further ado, let's dive into this video. This is Ken Corsini.
I want to shift your thinking about rehabs because we've had a big shift in our business just even the last 4 or 5 years where I'm actually doing less deals, I shouldn't say less deals, I should say less rehabs than we did even 3, 4, 5 years ago. And it's because we clued in that it's really what Cody said. We don't do all the deals that we get. We wholesale a lot of stuff. And I only wanted to do the deals, especially the rehabs, that make a lot of stinking money. Otherwise, it's not worth the time and energy. 4 different types of rehabs. First one, lipstick on a pig. Anybody heard this expression? Okay. So, here's the deal about a lipstick on a pig, is you don't necessarily have to be all that skilled. You don't have to be a GC. You don't necessarily have to know how to swing a hammer. You just gotta know how to clean a house, maybe line up a carpet installer, get some touch-up paint. And the idea is you wanna do it as quick and for as little as possible and get it right back on the market and hopefully make some money. Maybe not a huge bang for your buck, but hopefully something. The next one is a full renovation. So full renovation, it doesn't even necessarily require a licensed GC. In some cases maybe it does, some cases it doesn't. But somebody that knows what the heck they're doing and can coordinate a lot of different trades. Permits may be involved. How about new construction? Anybody do new construction in here? Even less hands, 5, maybe 6 of you. So interestingly, in our business, we've done all 4 of these probably in the last 2 months. We do all these all the time. And we have the 4 different buckets covered. We know the difference between each one. And each one honestly has different potential for making more money. All right, so let's dive into lipstick on a pig. I kind of feel bad for pigs. Are we making fun of pigs? That's a good looking pig. So generally a lipstick on a pig, it's a deep cleaning. Maybe paint, maybe carpet, landscaping. Honestly, a lot of times it's getting in there and salvaging as much as you can, what's already in the house, that you're just cleaning it up, making it look pretty and putting it back. Again, you're not pulling permits. Typically, there's no GC involved. You're gonna manage this thing yourself, and you're gonna get it back on the market as quick as possible. So let's dig into a full renovation. So full renovation, again, obviously more involved than a lipstick rehab. Typically, permits are gonna be involved. In my mind, of a full renovation, is that you want people to think that it feels like a brand new house. And those after pictures, they need to actually go into MLS and look to see the date it was built, to think, was this a new house? Or is this, oh man, this was built in 1930, it looks brand new. That's how we wanna leave our houses when we're done renovating them. 5 stages of rehab. High level. You got the inspection phase when you are, really this is, to me, in my opinion, this is the most important phase. If you're deciding, when you're deciding to buy a house and what you're gonna do to the house, to me that is by far the most important thing. It's critical are you buying the right house or not buying the right house? At the end of the day, your success depends on if you bought the right house. So to me, inspection is everything. Demo, everyone knows demo day. All the HGTV shows love to play up demo day. And we do yes, we demo our own houses and it can be a lot of fun. But that's quick, you're in and out usually in a day or two. Lots of dumpsters usually hauling stuff out of there and you're left with an empty shell. Rebuild's really the nuts and bolts. That's sort of the meat of it. And like on the show, that's the majority of what you see is the rebuild. It's what we do to the house. You take the blank slate and turn it into something beautiful. Blue tape, we call blue tape punch out in our business, or blue tape. You know, when you come through at the very end and you tape it up and figure all the little minor details that need to be right before you list it. And then staging and selling the house. And I'm gonna talk on staging here in a little bit, but to me it's critical. If you did a phenomenal rehab, you need to show that thing off. Don't leave it empty. All right, so let's dig into inspection phase. You can have 2 inspections. You don't always need 2 inspections, but you should have, on a big rehab, have 2 inspections. The first inspection, before you picked up the house, that's gonna be a list of what you're gonna do, the costs with those. Here's the deal, if you haven't done a lot of rehabs, I still say use the licensed inspector. We don't use licensed inspectors because we know what we're doing. We know how to inspect a house. If you're not doing this, you know, day in and day out, get a licensed inspector. A lot of times, it doesn't have to be a full written report. It can be a, hey, what do we need? He can walk through the house and say, here's what you need to do. But get it inspected. Don't forget termites. Are termites a big deal in Phoenix? Are they? They're a huge deal in Georgia. I'm not gonna find a house over 50 years old that doesn't have some termite damage somewhere. So get your termite inspection. Foundation repairs, that's another big issue for us in Georgia is we got a lot of topography, we got a lot of water, and it creates a lot of foundation issues. So make sure if you're seeing some hairline cracks in that foundation, if your slab looks to be a little cracked, don't slough it off. Dig in and figure out what's going on. That's the other thing, in Atlanta we have a lot of septic systems. I don't know, you guys have septic systems out here? It's almost all sewer. Some septic? There's a lot of septics. It's almost half in Georgia are on septic. So understanding what you got. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been burned over the years because we didn't inspect the septic system. You just assume everything works. Water inspection, by that I just mean water line to the house. I've replaced a lot of water lines, or water intrusion. We have a lot of water intrusion issues too, so make sure that you understand. If there's water in your crawl space, or water in your basement, understand how big of a deal is that to fix. Here's the other cool thing though about getting an inspection on the front end. This could be a negotiating tool. If you're dealing with a seller and you got this really crappy inspection, go back to them and say, look, I would love to buy your house, but I can't buy it for what I told you I would buy it for because of this. And you're gonna deal with this with anybody that wants to buy your house. And a lot of times, if they see that, they're scared too, and they just wanna get rid of the house. So utilize it. Inspection 2 would be a final inspection. So after you're done, is it worth, depends again, if it's a lipstick, probably not get a second inspection. If it's a full renovation, get one. Because you know what, your buyer is gonna get one. And they're gonna find all those things anyways. So head it off, get the inspection, figure it out up front, and then you're better prepared for when it goes under contract. All right, let's talk for a minute about house styles. This is more pertinent based on where you live. You know, if I just flew in from Atlanta and flying into Phoenix, it's like flying into a foreign country because it's so different than Atlanta. I love the styles out here. Way more modern, obviously way more Spanish, way more Mediterranean. We don't have stucco houses we have very few stucco houses in Atlanta, and they'd still probably be classified more like a European than they would be a modern or a Spanish. So if you're looking at a house with a specific style, make sure that you know what the heck you're getting and that you're keeping that aesthetic or you're changing it to the appropriate aesthetic. So, for example, a Spanish style house, you would never see that house in Atlanta. Yeah, I take it back. You'll see a couple of them. But if I owned that house, it would be really hard to sell because that's just not the style in Atlanta. Here, it sells all day long. Here in California and out west, this is the style. So know your style. Now, Craftsman is huge in Atlanta. In fact, there's a lot of times I pick up houses and I turn them into Craftsman style houses. I put the front porch on them and I put the tapered columns because people know it. They know arts and crafts style, and that's what they want. That's what they sell. So when you're getting to a house, make sure you understand the style, identify it. here's the style. I'm either changing it or I'm keeping it, one or the other, and stick with it. Don't get confused about your style. All right, so you get to the inspection period, and at the very end, you decide, this is the big question, am I gonna manage this myself? Am I gonna hire a general contractor, or am I gonna use a project manager? And this is a critical question. So here are the 5 questions you need to ask yourself. How much time do I have to dedicate to this? Are you working a full-time job and flipping on the side? If that's the case, then I would say don't manage this project yourself. Maybe if it's lipstick on a pig, maybe. If it's anything beyond that, you don't have the time to do that. You're gonna be pulling your hair out. What if you've got multiple projects going? Do you wanna manage this one and maybe hire somebody to do this one? Maybe. What's happening on your other projects though? Are you dropping the ball somewhere else? Here's a good one. How much money are you really saving? You think you're saving money because you're doing it yourself, but are you? Maybe. Sure as heck don't want to be the guy out there swinging the hammer. I would just, across the board, you don't need to be installing anything. You need to be hiring somebody to do that. But are you the guy that's out there managing them? Because here's the deal. A GC that you hire probably has better relationships with subs than you do, and they're paying them less, and it may end up costing the same to hire this GC versus you trying to go out there and manage these subs yourself. So make sure you understand what you're getting into. I would say, again, my recommendation is don't manage your own project. Your time is too valuable. What's the time value of money? In my opinion, there's always an opportunity cost to your time. If you're managing this over here, then you're not out there finding houses over here. So to me, your time is way better spent out here in your business, generating new business, than working on a project over here that you could have easily outsourced to somebody else. At the end of the day, when you're buying a house, what do you want? You want a scope of work. You want to know how much is it going to cost to fix this house. So how many bids should you get from GCs? I think early on, especially before you've developed some really good relationships, get 3 bids, 3 different GCs. Have them come out there, and don't let them just about $100,000. You want detail. I want to know where you're going to spend that $100,000 so that when we get into this project and you're asking for money, I can say, nope, we had it right here. You want detailed scopes of work. Make sure that GC is licensed. You know, and I'm not sure every state requires licensing. I know in Atlanta, in Georgia, GCs require licensing. I'd imagine in most states they do. Make sure you get a licensed GC. Negotiate with your GC. Pay attention to your GC. If you've never met the guy before, there are certain clues that this guy's gonna give off. You're gonna know whether they're legit or not. One might be the car he's driving, how he looks. Does he look like he's in need of money? I don't ever want to do business with somebody that's desperate for money because they're going to sting you in the long run. I want somebody that's polished, that's got references, that knows what the heck they're doing, and they present themselves well. Pick your GC and sign a contract. An important part of this contract is your draw schedule. Does everybody know what I mean by draw schedule? Draw is basically when you're paying them, how much you're paying them, and at what point in the project you're paying them. And so over the course of a project, you might have 5 draws, let's say. You know, at the end of framing, I'm gonna give you X amount of dollars. At the end of drywall, I'm gonna give you X amount of dollars. But you want to define that up front. I don't want this guy coming back and saying, well, I need more money. No, define it in the contract before you get started. All right, so let's talk about some common rehabbing mistakes. I can tell you this, I already harped on it a little bit. Paying your contractor up front ahead of the agreed upon schedule is never good. I actually wrote an article years ago on Bigger Pockets, and it was about this topic, I think it was entitled, Never Pay Your Contractor Up Front. And I think it's because I had just gotten burned. So I got real mad and I wrote a blog about it. And it was hot. It was a hot topic. Man, I got so much hate mail because of it, because contractors want to get paid up front. Investors don't want to pay them up front. Well, if you're wearing the investor hat, guess what? Don't pay them up front. It's not good for you, it's good for them. Now, I will say this, if you need to buy materials for them, okay, buy materials, bring them to the job site and say, here you go, here's the materials, you can use these. But man, I caution you against stroking a big check before that project gets started. Have a draw schedule, tell them, look, when you get this far along, I'm gonna pay you this much money, but you gotta get here first. Your contractor underbid the property, which, here's another thing that contractors can be notorious. You know, you might get 3 bids, 2 of them are up here and 1 of them's down here. You think, man, I got this low guy, this is gonna be fantastic. Well, this contractor might know in the back of his mind, I got the job, but halfway through the job, I'm gonna start hitting them with change orders. This is, some contractors are notorious for this. So make sure that you hire a contractor who's not going to come back and start stinging you for change orders. Contractor simply isn't skilled enough. Early on, when we were trying to find contractors, I did some of this. We hired guys that just didn't know what the heck they were doing. It wasn't good work. It was poor craftsmanship. So again, thoroughly vet your contractors.